So you're running YouTube ads and you're wondering, what do you test? How do you test to see what works and what doesn't? What's the most important things that you should be testing, taking out? See, in advertising, it's a science and an art, but it's more of a science than an art first. Because at the end of the day, all advertising is you're creating a hypothesis, you're experimenting on that hypothesis, then you're making a conclusion, and then you're going back to the beginning, iterating, repeat again. That's the flow of advertising. So with YouTube ads, what do you test? What do you experiment? What are the most important parts of your science experiment? And we go into that in this video, so stay tuned. Hey guys, my name's Andrew. I talk about everything marketing, advertising, and branding for real estate. See, I'm a marketing agency for high-performance real estate teams that want to scale by outsourcing their marketing, so this way they can focus on their clients. I get a lot of questions around YouTube ads because YouTube advertising is a blue ocean opportunity, but it's not as simple as just putting an ad up on Facebook. So there's a lot of questions around what do you do, how do you do it, and all this. So that's why we make these videos, to help answer those questions at scale, the same way you should be doing with your clients. One of the biggest questions that people have is, what do I test? How do I test? How do I actually get my ads to work on YouTube? Because it's completely different than Facebook. So I'm going to go into that. Because when you test, you have different bid options, you have different audiences, you can test creatives, the videos, you can test the landing pages. So what are the most important things for you to test in your advertising? So let's start with the bids. So you have the cost per acquisition that you can target, or the maximum CPA. And really, at the end of the day, the target CPA, target cost per acquisition, like the target cost per lead, is what you should be targeting. But when you don't know what to bid, then you want to do max conversions. And that's the testing that you want to do. You want to start with that and then move to target cost per acquisition. With max conversions, you can learn how much it's going to cost. And sometimes the YouTube ad platform is a little finicky, so switching from one to the other can help the ad actually perform. It's really weird. But sometimes right now, at least, it's working. Like if, let's just say, target CPA isn't running or your ads aren't delivering, then you can switch to max conversions, and sometimes I can get the ad running. So you may be wondering, okay, great, that's simple. Now what next? See, audiences are one of the biggest things that you can test. It's not the biggest, but it is one of the biggest. And at least in real estate, there's a lot less, for example, placements or topics that make sense for real estate. You can target placements, you can target topics, you can target keywords, but a lot of the times people aren't searching on YouTube for real estate. There are a few people that do, and putting your ad in front of them will end up doing well, but that doesn't scale. So you have to go a little bit bigger, but you don't want to go so big that you're not putting your ad in front of the right people. That's where custom intent and custom affinity work really well. See, custom intent, you have like as low as like 20 to upwards of like 50 or 100 keywords. And you can target, let's just say, all of the different variations of home value, home worth, realtor, real estate agent near me. And that would be someone who would be like a seller. How to sell your home, all of those questions that go into a seller's mind that they search on Google for. And you can do the same thing for buyers. How to buy a home, homes for sale, Zillow, city homes for sale. So like your city, Tampa homes for sale, Tampa Zillow, Tampa real estate. And that would be a buyer that you would want to put a buyer ad in front of. See, when you do home value, home worth, realtor, real estate agent near me, that's what you want to put a seller ad in front of. So those are custom intent custom affinity that you can create. You can also do combined audiences. These can work really well because the in-market real estate might be pretty broad. If you're looking to target sellers, then you might want to do a combined audience of homeowner plus in-market. And you could narrow that down as well. You can do in-market for a condo. You can do in-market for a single family home plus a homeowner. You can do a renter who's in the market for real estate. So you can do all of these different options, but that goes back to who is your target audience. You need to know, are they a downsizer? Are they a renter who's looking to be a first-time home buyer? Are they a homeowner who's looking to buy or sell? Are they someone who needs more space, someone who needs less space? Knowing that psychographic before you start the ad targeting on YouTube and the ad creation for the video allows you to create better, more contextual ads to the right audience. See, at the end of the day, it doesn't help to create non-contextual ads. See, if I can talk to someone and be like, hey, are you someone who needs more space? You bought your first home was amazing, it was great, but then your family grew a little bit, you're finally looking to settle down, to get in that neighborhood and get in that school district, but you need more space, then watch this video. That's more contextual. Just like saying, if you're a homeowner in Tampa Bay, this video's for you. If you're a homeowner in the Land O'Lakes neighborhood, this video's for you. If you're a homeowner in Seattle, watch this video. If you're a renter in Seattle or New York City, you might be overpaying on your rent and it might be more cost effective for you to move. And I'll go into the details about that. See, when you're able to say things that are that specific and get it in front of the right audience, that's how you serve the right ad to the right people. So those are all the variations that you can test when it comes to audiences. And the amazing thing about YouTube is it's not like Facebook, it's even better than Google because you have way more options and you have these combined audiences that let you be very specific on who you want your ad to be in front of. So after that, what else can you test? See, we talked about bids, we talked about audiences. Now the other thing before we go into the creative is the landing page. Now, at the end of the day, the landing page is a little, of course you have control over it and you wanna be testing different landing pages, different copy, different creative and all that. It's not gonna be the biggest thing to test, but it is an important piece. At the end of the day, I'll go into how you kind of go through these testing phases between all of these, but the landing page is less determining of a factor than your video and your audience. Those are the two biggest pieces. The landing page is after you got those two dialed in. So let's just say someone's watching your video, they have a good retention rate throughout their video, and it's served to the right audience, and they're going to your landing page, but they're not converting, and you have way below a 1% conversion ratio, well, then you need to change up your landing page. Maybe it's not contextual to the person you're serving the ad in front of. Maybe it has too many words, not enough words, not the right words. It's not speaking to their pains or their problems. It's not the solution that they're actually looking for. It's not simple, it's very complex. See, that's when you want to test the landing page. So you can test that, but let's go into the biggest piece, which is the video, because this is something that takes a lot of time. It took, for example, 5 videos for the first YouTube ad that I created to actually click and convert and to start working. And then after those 5 videos, that one ad has collectively gotten millions of dollars of listings. And it's been running for well over half a year at this point. And while I've had to change it up or switch the audience and stuff, I've been able to stick with that one creative. The creative is the variable to success. The video that you create at the end of the day is the biggest asset that you'll have for testing. And your video will be the biggest piece that you can test. And somewhere around here, I'll go into, there's a link to the script of how do you actually script a YouTube video for YouTube video ads, because you can't just use your Facebook ad for YouTube advertising. 2 completely different platforms. The audiences are completely different. On Facebook, most people only watch for 3 seconds or 10 seconds. On YouTube, people will watch a minute or 3 minutes. Some people will even watch an hour advertising. And I go into how do you script a YouTube ad. But here I'm just gonna talk about the generics of how do you script a YouTube ad. You have the hook, which is the beginning. You have the story, which is the middle, the meat, the value, whatever. And then you have the offer at the end. So when I'm scripting an ad, I may have, let's just say 1 to 3 stories, main stories that are speaking contextually to who I want the ad to get served in front of. And those stories are what I'm gonna test. Now, for, let's just say 1 audience, let's say I have 2 stories that I'll know that I'll hit. I may have 3 to 5 hooks. And what makes it easy is when you have those 3 to 5 hooks and those 2 stories before you film, you just have to go through those 3 to 5 hooks, and then you can go through that 1 story, and then you can do that offer. So it makes filming a lot simpler when you do the planning up front. But having those 3 to 5 variations of hooks allowed you to test, because at the end of the day, most people don't watch past the 30 seconds. So that hook at the beginning that grabs their attention in the first 5, 10, 30 seconds is huge. So having different angles, different ways that might speak to different audiences allows you to attract different people through different videos. And when you have 1 story but 5 different hooks, you have 5 different videos that you can serve to hundreds of different people. So let's just say I'm in a city and I'm talking about homeowners. I might say 1 city, Tampa homeowners. I might say Pasco City homeowners. I might say Land O'Lakes homeowners, Wesley Chapel homeowners. It's a different hook, but it's calling out different people. Just like saying, if you're looking for more space, if you're looking for less space, if you've been renting and you wanna move, if you've been thinking about selling, is right now the right time to sell? Are you wondering what your home's worth? All of these different questions that you can do hooks. And I'll probably make a video on like different hook angles and the different hooks that you can have, but we're already going long on this video, so I don't want to go too long. But that's the example. You have all of these different hooks that you can test with these 1 to 2 stories. And the reason you use a story is a story doesn't just tell someone, it shows them. It allows them to enter the mind of what's happening, and they can see this future vision for what they want, the result that they want, and how they can get from point A to point B, because they can insert themselves into the story. And that's why stories are so impactful. So you want to have a couple different stories, maybe 1 or 2 that you know work well. And then you could have a couple different offers, whether it's a home value, fill out a form, fill out a survey, or whatever. You can test those different offers. But that's the thing. With videos, you have to do a lot of testing, whether it's the different hook, the different story, or the different offer. And you may be running an ad, and after 3 or 4 months, you need to go refilm again because you need to test something different. But if you, for example, film all those different variations, you can start testing as you go, and you don't have to go back to filming as quickly because you can test all those different variations, and then you can test against different audiences. So that's where the power really hits, is when you have all those different hooks, stories, offers that you filmed at the beginning that you can now test against different audiences, and you can test for 3, 6, 12 months without having to go back and refilm. And then 6 months later, you create new hooks, new stories, new offers, and you can go refilm, and you can set yourself up for the next 6, 12, whatever, many months. But that's how you test on YouTube. It takes a lot of different tests to see, okay, what's working. But that's what, as an advertiser, you need to kind of take it from the science side. You need to ask yourself, okay, what are my hypotheses of who I'm looking to serve the ad in front of? What problems are they facing? What pains is that problem causing? What can I give that mini value, give that mini story that kind of transforms them to kind of see the light, to see the hope that they can get the same result? Or what can I do to add just a little bit of value, that little bit that they need to potentially transform them to want to take that next step. You have these different hypotheses that you test, you experiment, and then you look at the results, you analyze, and you make a conclusion, and you go back to the drawing board, and you do it all over again. It's repeating that process. So that's how you test on YouTube and find out what works and what doesn't, and that's how you are actually able to film for 6 to 12 months ahead of yourself. And rather than being like an artist and creating one video that you know may not perform, you can create multiple. At the beginning, save yourself time and the struggle that I've dealt with from having to go back and refilm, because at the end of the day, we don't know what performs. And it's wrong for us to make the assumption ahead of time and to say, I'm gonna spend $10,000 on this amazing video. You don't have to spend $10,000 filming an amazing ad. It's actually way better to do it on low budget, on the lowest budget you can. Do the filming, do the testing, find out what works, and then up the quality. That's what a lot of people don't understand, is when it comes to advertising, the polished stuff doesn't always work well. See, I was in a Clubhouse room with Dennis Yu, and he was talking about how he was working with Nike, and they spent $50,000 on a video, amazing video. And you can imagine the team that Nike has to create that video. It didn't work. And he went in, I think he said he spent like $50 creating the ad. And the unpolished ad that wasn't amazing, that was more natural, felt more raw, felt more real, actually ended up performing better than the $50,000 video. See, at the end of the day, as advertisers, we just need to create content that performs, that converts. It's not about creating this amazing ad that looks amazing. You start from ground zero, you do the unpolished, the real, the raw, because that converts better. That does way better than the polished videos. And then you see how you can upgrade the quality from there, because you have to test to find what works first. So it doesn't make sense to spend $1,000 or $10,000 on a video when you don't even know if the hook, the story, or the offer will work for the audience that you're looking to serve. So I hope that was helpful. Let me know, what questions do you have around advertising or YouTube ads for real estate, or just marketing in general? What are you gonna test, or what do you need to test to see what's working and what's not working? So let me know in the comments below. If you wanna keep learning about advertising, marketing, YouTube ads, or for real estate, then like and subscribe for more. So I hope this was helpful. Stay tuned for more content, and let me know, with YouTube advertising, what are you struggling with? What questions do you have? Let me know in the comment, what questions do you have around advertising? What struggles do you have around advertising or YouTube ads specifically? So let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.